Okay, to start our Pokemon card, the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to write the information down that we need. The information you are required to have is you need to write your Pokemon's name. And when I say write your Pokemon's name, I mean use your nice, neat handwriting. Do not slop through it. Make it neat. So we're going to have our Pokemon's name. We need to have our HP value for our Pokemon. Make it something realistic, not like 45,000. Usually Pokemon's HP values fall somewhere between 30 and 250. And then you need 2 attacks. You can name them whatever you want, be creative, have fun, and assign them a point value. Those are the only things that you're required to have on your card. The other stuff, like you can see at the bottom of my finished card, I just made up text down there. It's just squiggles. That's fine. Just put something in there. The only thing you're required to have is the name, the HP value, and your 2 attacks. Once you write it in pencil, you're going to trace over it with a black Sharpie. You need to have all of your wording traced with a black Sharpie before you move on to coloring. All right, now that I've got my text done and I'm ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and make the artwork. I would draw lightly and just kind of sketch it out so that you can get it where you want it first. Just like our words, we're going to actually trace them. So I'm just going to lightly put my Pokemon in here because it's going to get traced with a black Sharpie, so I don't have to be like absolutely precise here. Now I'm going to slowly and methodically trace over all my pencil lines so that my Pokemon is clear and outlined. All right, now let's talk about adding color. We're going to be using colored pencils, and I actually have special ones for you that blend a little bit better, but we're going to be learning how to draw lightly and blend with these. So when we actually color with a colored pencil, I mean, my goal is not to hold it up here because then I can't color softly and get a good laydown. Instead, I'm going to move my hand back so that when I color, I can get a solid, even layer of color. I can't do that if I'm holding it up here. This is how I hold my pencil when I write, and it's great for writing. But if I want to color, I want to hold it back here so that I'm not putting so much pressure on my pencil. Now, if I want to get it a little bit darker, I press harder. So I can change the pressure of my pencil. So on the back of your card, you're more than welcome to practice this because it's the back. But see if you can change from a dark value by pressing hard and slowly getting lighter and lighter and lighter. See if you can change your value that way. All that I did there was I changed the pressure, how hard I was pressing on my paper. So when we do our card area, we want to use a light value pressure. So I'm not going to press very hard. My hand is way back here, and since my Pokemon's fire type, I'm going to be using orange and red on my card. If yours is water, you might be doing something different. So I'm just going to lightly add the color. And if I want it to get darker, I can always come back and push down a little harder and get it a little darker. But I want to go slowly. I don't want to go straight to dark because then I have to keep it that dark the whole time and your hand's going to get tired. The darker it is, that means the harder you're pressing. If you're pressing really, really hard, your hand is going to get a little bit sleepy there. So I'm going to lightly go over it first. Now, you can tell on this card, I did a blend. I did 2 different colors together. When I blend colors together, I need to pick colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So red and orange are close. They're going to blend. If I'm choosing like purple and yellow, well, when they blend, they're just going to make brown. So then I can start, and I'm going to lightly add that color on top And then those are gonna blend together. Sometimes you're gonna switch back and forth between colors. Let's say I want this to be a little bit darker. And they're gonna start mixing together. The key is switching back and forth. So I'm gonna switch back and forth between those colors that I wanna blend together, and I'm gonna slowly layer up that color. Then I can go ahead and color the whole area that way. If you look closely at other Pokemon cards, you'll notice that they're darker up here where the name is, so that's what I did with mine. And if you were trying to get gray, like my edges, I did gray. I don't have a gray colored pencil. So what I did was I took my black and I very lightly put it on there. Already that looks gray because I'm not pressing hard. If I was to press hard, then yeah, it would be black. But if I'm pressing lightly, that color is gray. If I want to further blend it, I can use my white colored pencil. And that's gonna blend that color together and make it look even more gray, okay? Once we get to the artwork part, that's where we're really gonna start blending and doing our colors. So over here, I blended my purple into my red for the tail. I'm not gonna color this whole thing for you. You can already see the finished version here, but I am gonna show you how to blend. So to do that, say I wanted to blend these two colors together. I'm gonna start with one color and I'm gonna lightly color with it. And then I'm gonna start to get a little bit darker. Okay, and then I'm gonna switch to my next color. I'm gonna go lightly first, just to start blending those colors together. So don't be afraid to put colors on top of other colors. Okay, now I'm gonna switch back and forth until I get it as dark as I want. Now I'm gonna start pressing down a little bit harder. And you'll see those colors are gonna start blending together, and I'm gonna get kind of a new color so that I can fade from one color into the next, okay? The goal here is to take your time. This is not a huge artwork, it's pretty small. So as you're doing this, you're just kind of slowly blending your way. Like I'll show you how I did this. So brown is not on the color wheel. Brown is what happens when you mix two complements together, but you can still blend with brown. You just have to be patient. So holding my pencil towards the back, I started where I wanted, and I slowly get a little bit lighter as I go up. So I know that I want it to be a little bit darker down here. So I put my darker color where I'm pressing harder towards the bottom. And then as I go up, I get a little bit lighter. Then I'm gonna come in with my brown. And I'm gonna start to put my brown literally on top of my red. I'm not gonna go all the way to the bottom, but I'm gonna slowly put it on top. And then those colors are gonna start to fade. Now, I probably want it to get a little bit darker. So to get it darker when I'm blending, remember you're gonna keep switching back and forth between your colors. So there's some more red, and I'm gonna switch back and forth, and I'm gonna grab my brown, I'm gonna start getting just a little bit darker. Switch back to my red, I can get it even darker. But the more I'm switching back and forth between my colors, the more of a blend I'm gonna get, so it's not such a harsh line and it's more gradual. In case you didn't hear that, kindergarten is inside. All right, so that's how I'm blending. So coloring with colored pencils is a little bit time consuming. That's why you have a fairly small artwork that we're learning these blending techniques with. And as always, if you want to practice blending two colors together, you can get a free draw paper, or you can just practice on the back if you need to practice how hard or soft you're doing your pressure. And then of course, once your piece is complete, you are free to go ahead and cut it out to complete your Pokemon card.